Good morning, students. In the previous class, I had explained you regarding types of combustion. In today's session, I had explained you the types of flame produced by various combustible substances and the structure of a flame and its activity. So here, students, I start with the types of a flame. So here, students, I will illustrate you few substances which on burning produces various types of flames. The most common example which you observe in daily life at home is the burning of LPG. Means here, in our home, when we bring a burning matchstick or we bring a gas lighter or the stove of a kitchen, then you find that this gas will burn rapidly and produces blue flame. So in short, we can say that LPG burns with a blue flame. Moreover, when we put a kerosene oil in a stove and we bring a burning matchstick near the stove, then we find that this kerosene oil rises to the wick of the stove and produces yellow flame. Moreover, when we hold a magnesium ribbon with a pair of tongs and when we heat in the flame of a candle or a burner, then we find that this magnesium ribbon will burn with white dazzling light and finally convert to magnesium oxide. So here, we can say that magnesium ribbon on combustion produces white flame. Moreover, when we burn a candle, then in practice, generally we say that candle burns with a yellow flame because most of the part is yellowish. So we generally say that candle burns with a yellow flame. When we take a camphor in a spoon and we burn in the flame of a candle, then we find that this camphor will burn with a yellowish flame. Moreover, we can say that if we burn a charcoal, then charcoal doesn't produce a flame because charcoal on heating becomes red hot. And it does not vaporize during burning, so it doesn't give a flame. So in short, we can infer that LPG burns with a blue flame, candle, camphor and kerosene oil burns with a yellow flame, magnesium ribbon on burning produces white flame, and charcoal does not produce a flame. So here, you understood regarding the types of flame produced on burning various combustible substances. Now here I will explain you structure of a flame. So for this, I will take the most common example related to burning of a candle. When we burn a candle, then we can say that this burning candle actually, in reality, it is divided into three parts: outermost zone, middle zone, and innermost zone. Flame is divided into three parts: outermost zone, middle zone, and innermost zone. The outermost zone is the hottest part. Middle zone is the moderately hot part. And innermost is the least hot. It acquires very low temperature. Moreover, this outermost zone undergo complete combustion. So you can say that it is oxidizing flame. It produces blue flame, and this zone is also termed as non-luminous zone. Moreover, middle zone, it is moderately hot, and middle zone, and the substance is kept in a middle zone, then it undergoes incomplete combustion. Or we can say partial combustion is carried out of a particular substance, a combustible substance. Moreover, this zone appears to be much shiny and produces yellow flame. So you can say that this part of the zone is quite luminous. Means we can show that the middle zone is the luminous zone. Moreover, the innermost zone undergoes rare combustion, acquires rare combustion, or very slow combustion. So we can say that this zone has the lowest temperature. Moreover, this zone is termed as dark zone. And somewhat unburned wax papers melts and vaporized during burning in this zone. So this zone is the least hot part. So here, students, you understood the flame of a candle divided into three parts. Now I will explain you activity related to the structure of a flame. So here, what is the result when we keep a particular substance in a particular part of a flame? That I will explain you through this activity. So I start with an activity. First of all, fix a lighted candle on a table. Now hold a glass tube with a pair of tongs and keep its one end, keep one end of the glass tube in the innermost zone of a candle. Now bring a burning mastic near the outer surface of the glass tube, upper surface of the glass tube, and try to observe. So students, on observation it is found that a wax present in the candle near the wick starts melting, and on melting it vaporizes and rises in the glass tube. And when it arrives to the upper surface of the glass tube, then this burning mastic produces flame. So you can say that the cause of the flame is due to the formation of a vapor of a melted wax. So in short, we can say that the substance which vaporized during burning produces flame. So in this illustration, the molten wax vaporized during burning. So it produces flame on the outer surface of the glass tube when we bring a lightened mastic near it. Moreover, the other combustible substance is kerosene oil. Means kerosene oil also vaporized during burning, hence it produces flame. But students, when we take a charcoal and we heat it, then this charcoal does not vaporize during burning. As a result, charcoal never produces a flame. So here you have understood what would be the result if we keep a glass tube in the innermost zone. So here I'll explain you further. When we take a glass slide, hold it with a pair of tongue and insert it into the luminous zone of the flame, in middle zone of the candle for about 10 seconds and try to observe. So students, on observing, it is found that a circular brackish ring is formed on the glass slide. The reason behind it is that unburnt carbon particles were already present in the luminous zone. As a result, these carbon particles, unburnt carbon, gets deposited over the glass slide. As a result, it produces blackish ring over the glass slide. So this was the result of the luminous zone or middle zone. Now here students, try to hold a long thin copper wire and put this copper wire in the non-luminous zone or the outermost zone of a candle for about 30 seconds and try to observe. On observing, it is found that the portion of the copper wire just outside the flame becomes red hot. So here we can say that the outermost zone of the non-luminous part, or the outermost zone or the non-luminous zone, is the hottest part. So you can say that it is the highest temperature. Outermost zone has the highest temperature. So this copper wire becomes red hot on putting the copper wire on the outermost part of the non-luminous zone. So due to this reason only, Goldsmith blow the air through the pipe to the outermost zone of the candle to attain more higher temperature to melt gold and silver. So here students, you understood the concept regarding the structure of the flame and how this combustible substance give the result when we put a combustible substance in the particular zone of a flame. Okay students, you understood? Okay, thank you all.